Today I'm making some giant gel plate prints on the world's biggest gel plate, the Gelli Arts 18 by 24-inch poster size gel plate. Come watch me unbox this beast. I'll share how I prep the plate and we'll start pulling gorgeous prints right away. I'm Jackie Bernardi and welcome to my studio. It's an exciting day here in my studio. So, a very dear friend of mine has sent me the ultimate dream gift for a girl like me, and that is the 18 by 24-inch Gelli Arts gigantic poster size gel plate. Now, I've had my eye on this since it came out last, I think, October, maybe a little longer ago. I'm not sure when it came out, but truthfully, I was a bit intimidated by it, and also it's quite expensive, and so I said, "Well, I'll just hold off on it for a minute." Well, my friend was not having that, and she sent me one, and I'm so thrilled that she did. So, what you're seeing right now is I'm just opening it up. I have not seen this in person in my life, so I'm pretty excited about this. So it came packaged very well. It came in an outside shipping box, which was great. It was the exact size of the internal box, which was that larger box you saw a moment ago. And then inside that larger box was this cardboard wrapped gel plate. And as you can see, I open up the flaps. There's some instructions here from Gelli Arts. That's great. I'm just going to put these up on the pin board so I don't lose them. It's not different than any other gel plate, it's just larger, but they took the time to write the instructions, so I'm gonna read them. This here is a sheet of I don't know exactly what it is, but if I had to guess, I would say they included those sheets, there's 2 of them, one on the bottom also, to help protect the gel plate when it's not in the box. This is so large, there's no clamshell for it. So there's no way to protect it from dust or damage unless you cover it with something. And so I have a feeling that's what those white papers are for. They're not papers, they're more like almost like poster board. I think I'll try to call Gelli Arts and find out specifically what they are and what their purpose is. But for now, I'm just going to think of them as a way to protect the plate when I'm not using it. Now, in a minute, I'm going to prep the plate for its first use. So, what I wanted to do for sure was take my rings off. I don't want anything on my hands that could potentially damage the new plate. I swear to God, I feel like this is a newborn baby. At the moment, I feel like it's a newborn baby. And so I'm going to treat it exactly like I would a newborn baby. I'm going to wash my hands. I'm going to make sure there's nothing sharp, that my nails are trimmed, so on. Uh, I know I may be overzealous about this, but I couldn't be more excited. So that look right there was me reacting to how gorgeous this plate is in its raw form. Now, when you take it out of the wrapped cardboard and you remove those white pieces of poster board, what you have left are thin sheets of acetate covering both the top and the bottom of the gel plate. I'm going to remove one of the plastic sheets so that I can prep the plate. I'll explain why I'm not doing both sides right now in a moment, but I'm going to use Murphy's oil soap to wash the gel plate, and then I'm going to dry it with some of these blue shop towels. I use these shop towels because they have no lint, so there won't be anything left over on the plate when I'm done. But I wanted to take a moment to show you a couple of different products. I'm going to list them specifically down in the description, but these are alternative uh, soaps that you can use to prep your gel plate. Now, last year I did an entire video on how I clean all of my art supplies, including the gel plate, and I'll link to that down below. But the biggest question I got from virtually everyone is, well, I don't live in the US and shipping Murphy's oil soap to where I live is too expensive. So I went on a global manhunt to find alternatives to Murphy's oil soap. These 3 soaps worked super well, so I'll just list them down in the description. If you have them wherever you live, give them a whirl. They worked for me. I hope they'll work for you as well. So to start, I am just putting some Murphy's oil soap on the gigantic gel plate, and before adding any water at all, I'm just going to start massaging it in. The reason to do this is during the manufacturing process, it goes through a lot of machinery, and although these plates looked pristine to me, I just want to make sure that there's not any residual oils or anything on there before I start pulling prints. I just want it to be squeaky clean, and that's what I am doing as I massage the Murphy's oil soap in. I've also heard that Dawn dish soap works really well. I haven't used it, so I can't say from firsthand experience, but you can try that as well. And really, we just want to get this baby clean. In which rinsing it off, I'm just using cool water. It does not need to be hot water. It should not be hot water. And the plate is actually too large for my sink, so I have to have it bent in my sink a little bit. That's okay. Just fine with me. And what I'm going to do now is just feel the plate, make sure there's no soapy residue on it. It feels good to me, so I can start drying it. And drying it is just super simple process. I'm just going to use some of these shop towels and gently pat the water off the plate. I may rub it off a little bit, but it really doesn't need to be rubbed off. I mean, the truth is the shop towels absorb so much liquid that it's not necessary, but I'm in my mode right now, I guess. So that's what I'm doing. And I want to be sure also to dry off the other side. Now, ordinarily, I would not prep a plate without taking off both sides of acetate and cleaning both sides and all that. But here's the reality. I shouldn't be recording this video today. I couldn't help myself when I went to the mailbox in the morning and realized that my friend had sent me this giant gel plate. I could not stop myself from playing with it. I'm getting on a plane shortly to go to a wedding on the East Coast this coming weekend. It's a family wedding. I'm excited about it, as I am excited about this gel plate. So I made the decision to go ahead and just prep one side of the plate. That's all I'm going to use today. It's not going to be a big, huge printing session. I cannot not use it. If you want to see my entire process for prepping gel plates and what to do the first day that you have one and how to break it in, there's all sorts of links down below, but I really want to tell you about the free gel plate video course that I have inside of my free resources community. There's a link at the top of the description below. Go ahead and click it. It's completely free. You're going to love this course, and it's really going to give you insight on how to use a gel plate of any size. Okay, so make sure you hit that. So now that this baby's all squeaky clean, I've brought her back into the studio, and it is time to make some magic. What I like to do for my very first pull, almost always, is just a very simple, basic blend of color. It's really just to get paint across the plate and get the very first pull. Every single pull on a gel plate helps make it better. I don't know how to explain this the way that I mean it, but the pulls build up on themselves. And so by starting with just a very simple two-color blend, you could use a single color blend, it's fine. You start building up the potential for really beautiful things in future layers. And this is a piece of wet strength tissue paper that I'm using on the plate. The only reason I'm using this particular paper is because it was the right size and it was very close to me when I started working. Like I said, this was not a planned video, so I didn't have everything out that I was going to use. I just had to go and do this. So that was a beautiful pull. I got all the paint off the plate, and I'm just going to hang it up on the wall to dry. The paints that I'm using here, almost all are heavy-bodied acrylics, and so I used, some of this Matisse Midnight Blue, it's their Structure series, and that it's a lovely color, mixed with some Liquitex Basics Titanium White, and so this is the second pull, and what I'm really looking for here is some information for myself on how quickly I have to work with a plate this size. Acrylic paints, as we all know, dry much faster than any other type of paint. And this is a very large plate, a lot of surface area. And I'm trying to gauge how much time I have to work with just regular heavy bodied acrylics, right? And so far, so good. It's not feeling sticky, it's not feeling dry. I am working fast, though, there's no doubt about it. So, when you get a brand new gel plate, whether it's a monster like this or it's a much smaller one, the first few pulls of the plate, I just really hope you pay attention to drying time and the way the paints behave on the plate. Um, Using a fluid acrylic as your first paint on a gel plate may cause beading because it's a very liquidy type paint compared to a heavy body. That's why I usually recommend starting off with a heavy body until the plate is broken in a bit. This here is Matisse's transparent, mm, transparent burnt umber. Again, everything's listed down in the description, and this color is just gorgeous, and I like it mixing with the titanium white and with that blue. And the brayer that I am using is a 6-inch brayer. I happen to have a few because I have that other gel plate, the 16 by 20. I'm so glad I have this brayer because rolling out paint onto this gigantic gel plate with a little 2-inch brayer would take some time. I would probably have to use, an open acrylic. I'm not sure. Actually, when I get back from the wedding, I'm going to spend some time experimenting with different paints on this plate to see if I do need to use an open medium or not. I'm not sure. Of course, right now, I'm not sure at all because I'm just getting started. But again, all I'm using today in terms of paper is the wet strength tissue paper. I don't actually even have any large watercolor sheets right now, so I couldn't use that. And I really wanted to see how the plate behaved with large size papers as opposed to just sticking a whole bunch of, you know, 8 by 10 copy papers down. But I'm thrilled to death, using the wet strength tissue paper with the stenciling because as it pulls up these negative prints, right, onto the wet strength tissue paper, that's perfect fodder for layering in collage later. Just tearing off little pieces of that and using it in collage. Look at that. I love it. Oh, so pretty. This is a super fun stencil. It's, from Joggles and FMD Designs, and I will list it in the description. I really like the pattern first off, but I think it's going to make an interesting texture. So that blue that I am using now, that is, robin egg blue from Lucas Paints, and I mixed in some titanium buff as well as some transparent white. Um, I thought those would I thought those would make the pattern from the stencil really pop later on, and I hope I'm right about that. Who knows? You never know with a gel plate, right? When you're pulling prints, you're never quite sure what's going to happen. And I've decided here that I wanted to go back over it with the same stencil, but in the opposite orientation. So when I put down the stencils the first time, I was I put them all horizontally. This time I'm putting them all vertically just so that I don't have the exact same, uh, so that the print from the stencil is not just on top of each other and exactly the same. I wanted some differentiation. That's a pretty cool texture going on there, right? Love that. I'll tell you, it's a little more challenging, than I thought it would be even, working on a plate so large, but the result is so exciting. Uh, you guys know me well enough to know that at some point I'm going to be using this giant gel plate not only to create monoprints, but as a palette. I'm going to use it to test things. And I'm incredibly excited to have the ability to do that. The possibilities that are going off in my head right now are almost overwhelming. Like, my head is screaming, and my husband is down the hallway saying, "Are we packed yet?" Oh my gosh, thank gosh I have so many of these black shirts just waiting for me to throw on so I can record a video on the fly. Ridiculous. I'm having really good luck today with the paint not drying out on me. I don't have the air conditioning or the heat on in the house. The windows are closed. It's nice out, but it's a little bit chilly. So there's nothing drying, there's nothing adding to the drying of the paint. It's just kind of doing its normal thing. So that's good information, and I'll write that down in my little studio journal that you can see over there to the right. Um, but I do suspect that when I get into some more intense printing sessions with this plate, that I may need to put some type of additive in some of the paints to keep them wet a little bit longer than they would want to be on their own, right? So I'm just cleaning off my brayer here onto that lift-off sheet from the stencil. I think, again, that pattern is so cool. I can't wait to use it in collage. And so this has to be my final print for the day because I have literally got to go. So what I did was I put the wet strength tissue paper down on the paint. And then I took the advice of so many of you after I did that one perfect pull video a few weeks ago. So many of you wrote and suggested that I first off let the paint and paper dry on the plate upside down so that the gravity weight of the plate would help adhere the paper and the paint. So I heard you. I tried that out here, and I put some books on top. The cardboard that the gel plate was shipped in was the perfect barrier between the books and the gel plate. Don't get rid of this box. Either one of the boxes, actually. The outside box, it's fine, but those two boxes are terrific boxes to have in your studio, not only for protecting your plate, but for storing papers. Pro tip there, right? So I am going to try to be patient and crack the edges here before I start pulling the print. It's really hard for me to be patient right now. I'm pretty much climbing out of my skin because I want to see what's underneath. I had let this, I don't think I mentioned this, but I let this sit for about 2.5 hours. And now I've flipped the plate over so the plate is on top. And for the first time in my life, I am actually pulling the plate off the print. And because you all recommended I do it, and I'm doing it, and I am stunned and amazed at how well it is releasing the paper without keeping any of the paint on the plate. I mean, I can't believe such a clean pull for the first major pull off of this gel plate. So for all of you who wrote me and told me to pull prints this way, you have a convert. This is how I will pull prints from now on. Love this. This pattern is gorgeous. This is, oh my God, this feels like a beautiful rug. And it's huge, 18 inches by 24 inches. Crazy. So like I said, there wasn't much time today. I only pulled a few prints. In fact, I think it's only 4 prints that I pulled. Um, these 2 essentially solid type colors, I love this. There's movement in this. This is great fodder for collage. Um, this is fabulous. My I can already see 100 things that I can do with that piece of paper, and then this here is just glorious. Oh my god. Friend, I love you. Thank you so much for gifting me this. It means the world to me. If you've enjoyed this video here is the one that I would watch next. Thanks so much for being here.